Okay, welcome back, students, and we're still talking about Venus. Wow, Venus has so much beauty. Just thinking about that planet, it just really warms my heart just thinking about it, because love is a beautiful thing. It's a gift of God, and I just think that it's so important to always think about the connection that Venus has with Earth, with humans. So I talked a lot about Venus in the first part, and now that we're in the second part, I'm going to continue. I'm going to start off the continuation by saying that the whole concept of Aquarius, the waves, the two snakes, however you want to see it, it has two meanings: duality. Remember, everything about the universe is a shadow of itself, and or a reflection of itself, which is why we have the reflection of the sun, we have the reflection of the moon that we can see here on Earth, because that's the two elements that power our minds. And Venus is representing the subconscious part of the mind, as well as the moon. So we have like this. I'm going to get into the moon a little later and go a little deeper with that, and what the moon, like the moon's actual role in the grand scheme of things. I am going to go deeper into that, but for now, let's just think about Venus and the sun. So we got the whole Aquarian concept, but now we need to see Pisces. And when you look at Pisces, and what Pisces represents, you got the two fish swimming in the waters above. The whole duality thing again. I don't know if anybody's ever asked that question. Why is there so much duality in the zodiac? Why is there so much duality in the universe? You got this whole concept of two fish swimming in different directions. But remember, in the previous class, I said that, one fish is going in one direction, the other is going in a different direction. It's showing the opposites. It's the same thing, but it's opposites. And that's like the water is all the same, but it's on two different planes. We have the celestial waters above, the nu, and then we have the earthly waters, the seas. Okay, so we have the nu and we have the seas. And Pisces, you've got these two fish. You got one fish going in one direction in the celestial waters above, which is I would say, just like how we look at Gemini and Virgo, it's that one is the original one and the other is a reflection. Okay, but they're both the same. It's just that one's a reflection of the other. The seas the waters that we have with the actual fish living in the water is a reflection of what's happening in the outer universe. So it's really interesting that we have this. Now, if we look at the correlation between Uranus and the sun, we get Aquarius and Leo. Leo representing kingship, and Aquarius representing the water bearer, right? So one who provides water, which is one of the necessary sources for human life. Humans' bodies, once again, are made up of 70% of water, just like Earth is. Water is vital to this planet, and it's vital to human beings. Aquarius would be that vitality, as well as the sun being that vitality as well. Water and light. Okay. Then you would look at the correlation between Neptune and Mercury, Pisces and Virgo. And all of these signs are all like, there's duality in different ways with all of these signs. Like Aquarius with the 2 waves and the 2 snakes. Like Leo being the light and being the solar plexus, located in 2 different parts of your body. Like Pisces being the 2 fish. And like Virgo being a woman and like having 2 purposes. Like being a woman and also being like a maid or a servant. So you have like this duality here. Neptune and Mercury, right? So Pisces and Virgo, you think about it, you have Virgo here bringing in the earth elements such as agriculture, seeds, planting, flowers, trees, and all of that. And then you have Pisces with that Neptunian energy, having that ability to do the same thing, plant seeds, the birthing, because after Aquarius, the 11, you know, that's where the new is, and then you move on to the 12 o'clock position, and that is where also you find the new, but then you've got an object now there, a fish or the lady fish, right? Remember, because Venus is taking on a personification of a woman, a snake water woman, and that is like a mermaid. Mermaids move the same way the snakes move. When they're in the water, mermaids move just like that. You got the combination of a woman, a snake, and fish. So in the beginning, when God started to speak these things out, you have that Mercury, that energy of Mercury there, that communication, speaking things into existence. Neptune, think about that, Neptune. So first of all, we hear tune in that, and that's all about that sound that I talked about in the first part, the first video, the very first class. So the very first class, we know that all of these things came into creation by the trembling of God's voice, just speaking it out into existence, and all of the sounds that were produced in the making of all of these things. There's the first part of Neptune is NEP, Nep. There is an Egyptian god named Neper, the god of grain and agriculture, seeds and planting and all of that, harvesting, which is where Neptune gets his name from. So think about it. You've got the creation story. God plants a seed and all of these things grows. And then that Mercury energy, that mercurial energy, speaking life into existence. So Uranus, the Sun, Neptune, and Mercury they all have this sort of duality about them. Okay, they all do. Virgo could be like the one part of the other half, which will be Gemini. Okay, so that just explains a little about duality in a sense, in the whole creation thing, the whole concept of the Egyptian god Neper, the planet Neptune. You know, Neptune is all about ideas, convention, you know, your intuition, your ideas, your creativity, your imagination, being creative. That's attributes of a creator. A creator has that Neptunian energy, and naturally. And so the seed, the mercurial, the intellect, plants the seed. knowing what to do, how to make use of the things you're creating. Okay. Neptune is also connected to water, oceans, aquatic life, the seas, all of that. So throughout these different planetary references and zodiac references, you'll see the movement of water and its connection to all of these previous concepts, all of the concepts that we've been talking about, especially in this Venus course. So is Venus connected to water? Yes, it is. And it only makes sense that you see too the connection between Aquarius, Uranus, Pisces, Neptune when you think about Venus. You also have to see, like, where is Venus located in the universe? Venus will be located in the the waters above. That is why water is connected to the moon, which is why I made that reference earlier about the moon being a part of the mind as well. We're going to get into that later. But you can see why water is connected to emotions and feelings and love and things like that. Sentimentality and pain, sorrow, all of that, all of those emotions. Venus is tied to these expressions because of the water. Where does Venus live? In the waters above. Okay. So you also have a very famous figure from our history named Aphrodite. Aphrodite enjoyed a variety of names and titles. This is on page 42 in the book. Aphrodite means born from the sea foam. Being born from the sea foam or rising from the sea foam means the new. Remember, the new is the waters above, the abyss of the waters above, like a sacred lake in the cosmos. So that's what that sea foam is all about. Like some type of cluster of water up there, right? And so that's where the name Aphrodite comes from. But remember, this is all one woman. No matter how many different names she has, everybody has a different interpretation of this woman, because this is literally a woman who is naturally born of duality, which means she shapeshifts. She can display strong qualities of masculinity when she is thinking on her left side, and she can display even stronger qualities of ultimate femininity when she is thinking with her right side. That is why Venus is always such a complex planet to understand when it comes to the energy of it, because it comes with a lot of contradiction, which is like Aphrodite, same like Isis or Set, same like Ishtar. There's a lot of complexities with these famed women. Just like with Mary in modern day, mother of the Son of God. They even say Mary. They have so many names for one woman. Now, Mary has so many complexities even now, because you have churches who do not acknowledge the Mother of God. You have belief systems that only acknowledge he, him, man, only acknowledging the masculine side of life. And not too many people are tapped in and turned on to that subconscious part, which is the hidden aspect of life, which is why it is everyone's mission to find their hidden purpose, because it's things that are living on that hemisphere of your mind that is not always latent. I'm sorry, that's not always manifest. It's latent, it's hidden, it's not really seen, it's not as out there, it's not as popular. So, which is also why I mentioned that people who have Mercury in a sign that is ruled by a planet that is closer to the sun, these people may not question things as much as a person whose Mercury is in a sun sign, who's ruled by a planet that is further away from Mercury. Why is it that a person who's further away from Mercury, whose sun sign is ruled by a planet that's far away from Mercury, why are they the ones who would be more open to knowing these truths about the woman in the creation story? Because remember, these ones are more original. These ones are more open to innovation and new ideas. The new. It's just a more openness here. So, along with Aphrodite, you have some really important symbols connected to Aphrodite, just like there's important symbols connected to many different gods and goddesses of our history. So one thing you have is the white dove. The Holy Spirit is associated with the white dove, just like Aphrodite, which is why I've been saying over and over that the Holy Spirit is the mother in the Holy Trinity. Same as Aphrodite, same as Osset, same as Isis, same as Mary. The woman is the mother of the Holy Trinity, which is the Holy Spirit. Why Holy Spirit? Because the mother is the subconscious part of the universe representing that, which means the mother is the actual intuition, the spiritual. And the reason why the sun is so big and the sun is so super exalted as the largest light of the universe and the reason why so many people all over the world are consciously aware of God and not as consciously aware of the woman. Remember, conscious meets conscious, and that's all you know. But it is up to you to tap into that other side of yourself and start trying to find out, okay, what is hidden from me in this situation. So the dove represents peace, purity, and new beginnings. New, N-E-W, or N-U, representing the beginning of everything. Myrtle represents, that's a type of tree, type of leaf, type of herb, plant. It represents love, beauty, loyalty, and romance. Things that are associated with Venus. Cyprus is the area where you'll find a lot of information about Aphrodite. Cyprus has its roots. The word Cyprus has its roots in Sumerian times, way back to Ishtar. Now we're going back to Ishtar, right? Same thing, but just different names and all of that, right? So you're going all the way back to Ishtar. And so the word Cyprus is a combination between copper and bronze. So the prs, that makes the same sound as bronze at the end of bronze, bronze, and then Cyprus, copper, and bronze. Okay, so it's like, it doesn't really sound like that, but that's because the actual word was Kypros. Before it was Cyprus, it was Kypros. Okay, Kypros. So now you can hear the copper, okay, and bronze, Kypros. Okay, so that was the Greek word. That's where Cyprus comes from. We say Cyprus, but it's really still Kypros. But we don't say that. We say Cyprus because, of course, tell the story to the first person, it passes on to different people, and it all changes and gets all screwed up. But copper and bronze were relevant in this word because there were large deposits of copper found on the island. But that's not the only reason why. Another reason why is because Aphrodite was said to have golden skin, or skin like copper, the same way that Jesus Christ is described to have copper skin. So a very luminescent shade of brown that just shined and glistened like you just came out of water. The new. So that's why had colored. I mean, the Egyptian gods are called golden. See, it's the same people. It's just switched all around to match, to make people feel satisfied with how they look, and relating it to how they look and making it relate. You know, just to get by with the whole thing. But the whole Egyptian goddess, golden skin. Jesus Christ, copper, golden, bronze skin. You know, that's how you know the subconscious part of the world. The truth of it all, what's hidden here is that these things that we see, but oftentimes we just look over it, but it's already there. So the planet Venus is exalted in Pisces, right? The water, and the two fish swimming in the water. Venus is exalted in this part. Just really what this means is that Pisces is another symbol, just like Aquarius, another symbol of the great ocean. So why is it that if Venus, you may be wondering, why is it that if Venus is connected to the signs of Taurus and Libra, why haven't we started talking about Taurus and Libra yet? And we've just been talking about Aquarius and Pisces and this water and emotions, and they have such a strong connection to Venus the way that they do. Because remember, the zodiac wheel is kind of like a story, like a short story. The water bearer is this woman. This Venus figure is actually the water bearer. And oftentimes you see a man, and it's not. It's really supposed to be a female water bearer. And you have this woman who is that, providing these waters, the new. The woman provides the water, is providing this, right? And then you have the progression from there, and then you get this this whole duality thing with the two fish, the woman, and then the reflection of it showing up, the actual manifestation of it showing up on Earth in a sign of Pisces. And then things become physical when you get to Aries. That's when things start to make sense. But before it all makes sense to the naked eye, human beings just really didn't know what was going on in the cosmos before they came here. But since God already put everything here to show you what's going on in the cosmos before you get here, just look at the process of a baby in a mother's womb. Remember earlier I mentioned the water snake, that Natrix morana, that specific viper eats fish and tadpoles. So when after intercourse, when the man enters the new of a woman, man enters a woman's new, her sacred waters, her sacred lake, and shoots that tadpole in there. The whole idea of that snake eating that tadpole is like when that tadpole latches on to something, and then that egg and all that stuff, all that, the creation of a baby, all that happens. That's like the same concept. God is not really hiding things from you, so it's like not really secrets of the universe, really, to be honest with you, because woman has manifested herself here for you to see. But what it is like, the reason why things are always is so confusing to everybody about outer space and all of this is because everybody's missing the obvious. But see, because I'm a woman and because I'm who I am able to tell you that is right there in front of you. Like what's going on up there is actually going on down here, which is why the Egyptian god Tooth said, as above, so below. That's what that means. It didn't mean like in heaven and in hell. It just meant what's happening in the celestial world is also happening on earth. You can see it if you are tapped into your subconscious mind. Speaking of that, I did this this thing at work, meeting of the minds at work. It was like a little analysis thing. You did like a quiz, and then it showed you what kind of mind you have. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab that real quick. Something's telling me to get this. And I did this past year, last summer. So it's interesting because my mind is 95% yellow and 95% 39% yellow and 39% red. And compared to the general population, I'm in the like a 95% percentile with the rest of the general population when it comes to the red and the yellow. So whatever that means. But I know that basically there's huge chunks, like it's a pie graph. And so like this is a huge chunk of the way I think, yellow and red. Now, yellow people are the sun people, or the conscious side of your brain, that masculine god, that the masculine understanding of God, the masculine side of God, right? The Ra side, yellow, that solar plexus energy. So half of my brain basically operates in that way, damn near. There's other colors here, but it's only 10 and 11%. It's not even that much, but I do need those other things to do other things. We'll get into that later, but for now, since we've been talking about the sun and Venus, I find it to be perfect right now to talk about this. So if you're more conceptual, more yellow, that means you are a visionary, more imaginative, you're intuitive about ideas, you learn by experimenting, and you enjoy the unusual. So that makes you someone who is highly conscious, highly aware, and also really, imaginative and creative, intuitive about ideas. Now, the red, which is damn near the other half of my mind, is associated with Venus. So now you see my mind is sun and Venus, conscious and subconscious, God on masculine and God feminine. That's the kind of way I think. Think like a god. Like, that's basically what that is. So the red is associated with the planet Venus. If you see depictions of Venus, you'll get Venus dressed in red. All set is dressed in red. That color is associated with love. That's the social side, the relational side. Going back to Libra. Libra is all about relating. And you have that connection with relating to love. Taurus is the second sign, which is all about unity. Unity. That is showing you, you know, that's what people do. They unify and they, you know, build a relationship. It's the same thing. Unifying of two people and relating of two people can lead to relationships or unification, marriage or something. So yeah, the sun and love, light and love, love and light. That's the kind of mind I have. And that's the kind of mind that you have when you are innately and intentionally know who you are. When you already know who you are, when you already know everything that you need to know, pretty much. So, all right, so that I just wanted to, because that just made me think about it when I thought about Venus and the sun. I'm like, hold on, that's my mind. All right, so now in the book, there's something about a cosmic egg, which is just basically the new. But just think about it. Snakes do lay eggs. They do have offspring. They do have that ability to lay eggs and have offspring. This whole like cosmic egg idea is the new. It's the snake lady being able to, you know, produce an egg that, you know, that egg cracks open, all that semiotic fluid in there. That's the new. That's where your baby swims, you know, or your tadpole grows and becomes a baby and swims in that amniotic fluid. That's the new of your body. It's mimicking the waters above the firmament. Okay, it mimics it. Remember, it's duality. The waters above the firmament is, remember I said that's in the head, like the brain, right? But it's always going to mimic it. It's always going to reflect onto something else. And that's when you get pregnant and you have the womb. And they're both circular, your head and your womb. Okay, so in traditional tarot, you have Venus or Aphrodite here depicted as what they call Lady Soul. Lady Soul. S-O-U-L. But remember, S-O-U-L, S-O-L. It's always something about the U and the O. And it makes me think about Taurus all the time with the O and then the crescent moon right above it. That's Venus in itself as well. The womb and then the crescent moon. The moon and the womb. You know, like, that's why Taurus is connected to Venus. I can see that for sure. So it's a lot, you guys. It's so many different things. So you have Lady Soul here, right? On the World card in tarot. And Lady Soul has the world behind her, and she's got like this garland, this wreath, which I'm sure is myrtle. I'm sure that wreath, those flowers is myrtle. Okay? And remember, myrtle symbolizes love, beauty, loyalty, and romance. So that card is a depiction of this whole lady above earth who's graced with this love, beauty, loyalty, and romance inside of her heart. This mediatrix for the world. So Mercury is pulling energy from the sun. We already know that. And it's also pulling energy from Venus. And the reason why is because of the water. The water. Mercury's pulling sunlight and it's pulling water. Now, it's not literally doing that. I don't want to confuse you. I don't want to confuse scientists either. It's not literally pulling what we know to be as water. It's pulling water energy from the planet. And again, what's the attributes of water? Intuition, dreams, emotions, feelings, like all of those things. So it's pulling like a feminine energy and a masculine energy, you know, pulling them two together. Okay, so Venus became the planet of relationships because of all this. And, you know, Libra shares Venus with Taurus, right? Because Libra brings in balance. And that's why Venus is the bringer of balance and love. And it's all about opposites attracting here. Remember, I said that Venus fell in love with Mars. Out of all the planets, the most loveliest of them all fell in love with the most warrior-like, because Venus is automatically, naturally attracted to her opposite. That's why a Taurus will always love an Aries, or a Libra will always love like a Libra will always love a Leo or something, or Aries will always love a Taurus, or Leo always love a Libra. However you want to like switch it all up. They're opposites. Like, people think they shouldn't be together, but actually they have the perfect type of love, but sometimes it doesn't last. But it only lasts if they have the right sun and moon placements. So they really do have a lot that they love about each other. Venus loves how Aries is a challenge. Venus loves the idea of taming the Aries, or taming a fire sign. Let's just say that Venus loves being able to tame a cardinal sign. That's what they think. If it's women, if it's a female Libra or Taurus, that's what they like. Dealing with, you know, if they're dealing with a fire sign male, they like that. Now, if it's reversed, where it's like a Taurus or a Libra man attracted to an Aries or a Leo woman, what this means is they expect this woman to, it's like reverse. It's like they expect this woman to possess their qualities, and then the woman expects the man to possess their qualities. It's like, it's weird, but that's because their polarities are so different that it just makes them have expectations. They see themselves in each other. That's what happens with a Taurus Libra connecting with an Aries or Leo. They see each other and they hold each other to expectations that they would wish for. It's like they want to date themselves. Is literally like they want to date themselves. That's what it's like. And they always want to actually please their partner. They actually want to be able to do it. They actually want to be able to fulfill their expectation. And it's very interesting how this connection happens. They are crazy about each other sometimes. They can be really crazy about each other, and they can love each other to death. I'm talking about all the way to the they're gonna roll, you know, like they're gonna be locked in for the whole experience. But they're always going to expect themselves in one another. So let's say if a Taurus man is big on loyalty, he's going to really drill this issue in the ground when it comes to an Aries woman. He's really going to make sure she knows that that is of high value, and that he's going to expect her to be exactly like him, and vice versa. Let's say an Aries woman really values the same thing, loyalty. But see, the Aries, being that this is a cardinal, a fire sign, this fire sign it may not really drill it in this Taurus, but will really grow extremely impatient if this Taurus doesn't have that same loyalty. So you see what I mean? It's like they'll expect to see themselves in each other, and they frustrate themselves sometimes when it's not done the way they would do it. But they both want the same things, which is the reason why they're attracted to each other. They both have strong values. So these, this type of combinations here shows high sexual and romantic attraction all of the time. And their sun and moon placements show their long-term potential. A Venus in Taurus will represent the raw sensuality of a person, okay? And maybe it'll show a person who's only concerned with the physical, where a Venus in Libra person would be concerned with opposites attracting, the whole concept of it. Like, these are the ones who be in love with love, but what else? Where the Venus in Taurus person would be concerned with what else and then love. So it's really interesting how that shows up when your Venus is in Taurus or Libra, for example. It's interesting because Venus, how it shows up in every human's life, in every astrological birth chart, always asks two questions. Venus is not really about how a person loves, because that would be love language. It's more so about what is my worth according to what I have to provide for another person. And then it asks, and do others see my worth according to what I am showing is my worth? That's what Venus does in everyone's astrological birth chart. What is my worth according to what I have? And how do others see my worth according to what I show? So let me use an example. Let's say your Venus is in Aquarius. Your Venus is in Aquarius, then since Aquarius is connected to revolution and change, transformation, new beginnings, new ideas, then people with Venus in Aquarius is always going to determine their worth based upon potential, like knowing you're the ish because you've got a lot of prospects. And I'm just gonna be honest, knowing that you're worthy of love because a lot of people like you, a lot of people are interested. It's like results driven. It's like, yeah, I see the results, I see my work, but at the same time, do you see it? So that's when the next question comes in. Do you see it? Because I know I see it. Do you see it? So, because a Venus and Aquarius person will know what they have. Like, a Venus and Aquarius person knows already what they possess. They already know what makes them stand out. They already know what makes them unique. They already know what they have that it falls in alignment with Uranus energy, meaning uniqueness, innovation, one of a kind, super rare. So Venus and Aquarius people know already, yeah, I know what makes me unique compared to anybody else, but do they see this? So then that's the next question. Do others see my worth according to what I show? So throughout the journey of life, as it pertains to love life, a Venus and Aquarius person is going to match up with partners in their life, and they're always going to strive for that person to see them the way that they see themselves. That is what it means to be a Venus and Aquarius person. It doesn't mean that there's going to be a whole lot of love partners because the Venus and Aquarius person does not know how to love or does not want love. That is not the truth, because you got to think about how strongly Venus is connected to Aquarius. Aquarius is the water of love itself, the actual movement of love itself. The source of love is Aquarius. Venus is love, but the source of it is Aquarius. So that's the starting point. So a person with Venus and Aquarius has original ideas about love, is unique in their expression of love, and seeks rare opportunities for someone to really wow them in relationships. That's what that means. It doesn't mean anything dealing with anything else negative. It really just deals with being on this quest to match up with a person who sees how rare it is to actually be with me, right? Like, you've got to see how inspiring this is. Like, you've got to see how mind-blowing this is gonna be. Because one day it could be astrology, the next day it could be history, the next day it could be horror, the next day it could be drama, and the next day, it's always going to be innovative creativity. So the right person for someone with Venus in Aquarius has to be able to bring so many unique qualities to keep this person entertained. So that's why Venus and Aquarius people are drawn to artists, creators of all kinds. So many different types of creative people, whether it's music, singing, rapping, dancing, painting, just any other creative things, fashion, things like that. That's why that type of attraction is there, because it's like, we need to be, a Venus and Aquarius person thinks like, I need to be with a creative soul that's going to keep being creative. Don't quit. Don't become, the worst thing to do is to become stagnant and be like Pinocchio, just never really knowing your place, like just taking a long time to figure it out. That's aggravating to a Venus and Aquarius person, because it's a constant genius going on with this type of person. So we need another Venus and Aquarius needs another person to be genius too. And that's just really what this is all about. And I hope that you guys now understand what Venus means for you according to where it is at. The two questions everyone's going to be trying to find out in their dating experiences, because that's what Venus makes you do. And it depends on where it is to see how intense this quest is going to be, and what you're actually going to be looking for. So I just told you what Venus and Aquarius people look for, and they're not going to conform to anything less than what they expect. So Venus tells us what makes a person fall in love. It tells you what a person likes. It doesn't tell you about their love life per se. It just tells you what they like. And more than likely, they'll have experiences like that if they always choose what they like. But can you solely rely on Venus placements to tell you what makes a person fall in love? Yes, but can you do that to explain a person's all of their history in love? No. Because sometimes people do things that they don't like to settle. So that was a lot, you guys. But there's something else that I want you to notice here. Because remember, I didn't forget about the 9 and the whole 369 thing. So we know that Gemini represents the 3rd house. That's the 3. And this is just Mercury things. And then we know that the 6 here represents Virgo, right? And then you add them together and you get a 9. But 9 has to be, it is the circle, the full circle, right? But it has to be what I'm trying to say is, since everything, so that's just one thing. That's just looking at Mercury. But what about, because Mercury is the throat area and all of that, that's just looking at that. But what about in the mind? Where is the 369 showing up there? Because remember, it's going to be reflections all over the place with this code. So you find that, and this is where it gets a little murky right here. Okay, but I think this is the last. Okay, we're getting close to wrapping this up. I'm gonna try to hurry up. All right, so in the mind, we're about to look at that. Okay, yes, that's right. All right, okay, so the 369 in the mind, that whole concept, because we gotta look at that too in this area, since this is so important. That's why the mind is a terrible thing to waste, because look at all this information we've pulled out from all these planets and focusing on the mind so much, and we still haven't gotten to so many other parts of the body yet. Like, there's so many things we haven't even talked about yet, haven't thought about yet, and we're still dealing with this. That's why it's just amazing. Our brains are so amazing. It has vast amounts of information for us to gain, learn, and just pick up from out of the blue, yeah, out of the blue sea, the deep blue sea, the new. Okay, so going back to now we know, guys, now we know. Left side, unconscious. Right side, subconscious. Unconscious, we have 2 zodiac signs associated with it. Once again, it is Leo and Aries. Aries is the 1st sign, Leo's the 5th. You add these together, you get a 6. On the right side, we've got Taurus and Libra. You've got 7 and 2. That's your 9. I know you're probably looking for the 3. Okay. Your 3, remember, is Gemini. Mercury. Remember in the video from class 4, I think let me go back. I think one of the first things I said about Mercury was that it is the, hold on. Yeah, Mercury is the smallest planet. It's closest to the sun, but it's the smallest one. It's like it's, even though it's right there, it's so small. It's like you don't always notice it. That's the third element, okay? This is just when we're talking about the mind. That connector. Throat, lungs, that area. So that is representing your 3 there. Because why? Left hemisphere, right hemisphere, and intellect. Your thoughts, all of that lives there in all of these places. You got this combination of the 3 making up your mind, your brain, your head space, the head cloud. That area, yes, that is right, left, intellect. Sometimes Mercury, you know, like they say, Mercury can also be associated with memory. Can also be associated with the memory. So we have left, right, intellect / memory, all up there. Now, so this means, what this all tells, all of these things we've been talking about, what this tells us is that the zodiac signs are also broken up into different planes. We're going to dig a little bit deeper. They are also broken up into different planes as well. So we have like what is considered heavenly plane, which will be the upper chakras, the celestial parts. Okay, the celestial parts of the body. So we've got the crown chakra, the third eye, the throat, and the heart. Okay, these are the upper celestial parts. Remember, the heart is the sky part. So everything up above the sky, that's like the celestial planets up there. Okay, so you've got the zodiac signs of Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. Okay, so wait, hold on. Yeah, like half of Leo, like a little bit of Leo. I believe that's how I had said it before. So you have all of, you have like all of this, right? So, and Leo, because Leo's the sun. I'm sorry, I apologize. Because Leo's associated with the sun. All right, so we have like, all of this. Now, the lower chakras are considered like the quote-unquote body. So Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, or solar plexus, sacral, and root, are like the more earthly, all of your lower chakras. Because Virgo is connected to the stomach area. That's all about nourishment. Libra is the balance. That's like closer to the hip area, sacral area. And then we have Scorpio, which is all about transformation and change, movement, because the number 8, movement as well. That's is getting closer to your legs. It's like thighs and all of that. And then we go lower than that, and we've got the last 3 zodiac signs: Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Pisces. So these are considered like the deep sea, the deep abyss, going back into the new, but like from a different direction. Just the same way the universe is. We have like heaven, earth, and then the deep sea again. So it's like a passage, like a movement from the crown all the way down to your feet, is like going from heaven and then, through different things, coming into earth, which is like the body, coming into the body, earth, and then you go through another like body of like the earth water. You go through the earthly water, and then you keep going deeper, and that's like the deep sea. You hit that crust, and then you're out again. So that's Sagittarius is connected to higher consciousness. Capricorn. So the higher consciousness part, after you got the legs and you keep going down lower, Sagittarius is like the higher learning, higher consciousness part. But it's interesting how it's like higher consciousness, like you're supposed to be ascending, but in direction on your body it's like going low, it's like down there. But what helps you jump? Your legs do, your knees and all of that. That's why Sagittarius is located down there, because what helps you to get a higher, like to grow taller, your legs are involved in that process, and jumping and all of that. So we've got that. Aquarius is connected to innovation, society, innovation, humanitarianism, all of that, right? So we're going lower, we're going deeper. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped Capricorn. So after Sagittarius, we have Capricorn. That's structure. So boom, you're going through the water, you're going really deep. Even though it seems like you're going deeper, remember the waters here on earth is only a reflection of the waters above. Look at that. Isn't that duality amazing? It seems like you're going lower. When you go down into the sea, just like when you travel in the direction of south on your body, everything seems like you're going downward, but really, what if you're going up? What if you're going up? It seems like you're going down, but if you are going down, you're only going down to go back up, because you're going to end up back in the new. Capricorn is an earth sign, so that's the crust, that's the earth's crust. Like that's when you hit that like crust part, way in the deep sea. And then Aquarius, boom, there goes your water, there goes your new again, bringing in that innovation. And then Pisces, intuition, the cosmic waters, the two fish swimming in those cosmic. So now you have made it out of earth, and now you're in the cosmic ocean, back in the new. Now you're a fish again, a tadpole, ready to become birthed again by somebody who's going to be your mammy and your daddy. You're ready to be born again. You're ready to reincarnate. So this all mimics this whole process of humans coming to life, coming to earth, and then living in it, and then leaving it, ready to be born again. The cycle starts again. Now you're back at 12 o'clock. And then when your mom gets pregnant, you're at 1 o'clock. The birth, you'll be at 12 for a while, and because you'll be in the waters. Remember, you're in the amniotic fluid for how many hours? For how many months? 9 months. That's a part of 369. You're in the sac for 9 months. And a healthy baby, I think, is 36 weeks? 9. So, this is amazing. Now, this is just really amazing. And so now that we understand that, now one last thing before we go, and I thought that this was really cute, and I got really excited about this. I think that this was cute. Now in Disney, there is a Little Mermaid. named Ariel. Right? They pronounce it Ariel, but if you say Ariel, it's okay, because air is, you're still pronouncing like air, and this is still showing like a connection, relationship to Aquarius. Anyway, aqua, Aquarius, the water, air thing that we've been talking about this whole time. And it's interesting how Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, has an actual moon called Ariel. You can say Ariel or Ariel, and there's divine meanings no matter which way you pronounce it. It's always going to connect back to what it's about. So that's a mermaid. That's that fish. That's that snake thing. That's that python fish thing. That woman python fish. That's that 3-body person. That's that shape-shifting thing that they took out of the constellation of Aquarius. So like when you see the symbol of Aquarius, you don't see the waves or the snakes with the woman. The snake woman thing has been taken out, and they just left the, just the waves or the snake. They took that's what got taken out. That's the animal that got taken out, because it was too mythological. It was like seen as a creature instead of an actual thing. But the thing is, these are things that are just really made up. It's literally just a woman. But when you have a society driven by like all of these men who make things up, and they get really crafty and creative, and they want to say that this is a mermaid, like for real, it's like, okay, you guys took mythology too far. And that's what happens even now today in the world. They just look at a woman and they named Ariel, and they want to say that she's born from the sea foam, the same way you said it before. Same thing you said about Venus before, you're saying it again. Just never-ending little myths from these mythological creatures called men. Because there's a lot of things to say about the men, okay? The men were walking around with all of their body parts exposed and doing the absolute most. The men had 15 wives. Like, it was just a mess. So what kind of creature are we going to call the men? Because apparently, they're nothing like mermaids. They must be the beast. So, it's interesting how people's minds can get really creative like that. But the Ariel thing is cute, because it's representing this whole concept. And pay attention to the fact that Ariel has red hair and is wearing a red bralette. Remember, red is the color of love, connected to Venus. So this is still Venus, no matter if you want to say mermaid, just because this is the creator goddess who came from the new. I don't know how they found out way a long time ago that this was a divine being, but that's what they did. They associated things with different things in order for them to understand what was going on. But really, they wanted to say divine, holy, daughter of God, daughter of heaven. Like, they didn't know what to say. It was just like, I have never seen a woman like this in my life. Like, she's so powerful. She knows too much information. She's just so intuitive. I've never seen anyone this connected to their intuition, their subconscious mind, as much as her. So now we're going to say things like, we're going to talk about water and all of that. So it's just stories put together, and none of it really is true. The only truth in it, I'm not going to say none of it is true. What I'm going to say is a lot of this is just mythological history, but the truth in it is that woman is definitely mother of a lot of things, okay? It's crazy because the next chapter we go into is Gaia, and that talks about the Mother Earth here. Now the name Ariel means lioness of God, and I wanted to point this out to you guys Because remember, at those gates of heaven, you have two lions, a masculine lion and a feminine lion. You have these two lions there. Now, remember I said, if it's God, then it comes in the form of masculine and feminine, right? Just like your mind, just like earth, everything has this duality. This is the lioness. Remember, Leo, Aries energy, Sun, right? Masculine. And then you have this lioness on the other side, on the more subconscious side, that Taurian Libra side, and is connected to feelings, emotions, intuition, all of that. That's the feminine side of God. So that's what lioness of God means. It means God is represented as these lions in these artworks and these illustrations, to show God's mighty strength, power, sovereignty, royalty, rulership, kingship, queenship, kingdom nature, kingdom rulership, all of that, right? All of these things. These lions are like animals that are directly connected to God. Like, I mean, right hand. Like, I'm talking about right hand. And these lions look just alike. They're twins. There is a male and at the beginning there was a man and a woman. It was twins. God keeps these two right there. Right there. That's where they live. Right there. Right there. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Right there by God. Right there. So Ariel is the female lioness that's right there. And remember, a lion represents Ariel's divinity, rulership, queenship, royalty, all of that. So, which is where they get the concept of mermaid from, because mer is light, or a light body, who is here to like be the water bearer, to make life possible for everybody. Going back to Venus, the symbol, the Ankh, the key to life. The water, essential for life. See the interconnectedness between all of these elements. Everything. The sun, the mermaid, Ariel, the water bearer, the Venus, the water itself, the service to humanity, the communication, the Mercury, like all of these things are connected, and it's just really talking about Venus just really expresses the feminine version of God. Ra, Re, male, female, light, dark, the female, So you have, I just wanted to point that out because this is a truth that you got to know, Lady from the sea foam is the giver of life. The water. Water makes up 70% of the earth and 70% of the body. I mean, you need it. So you need women. You need woman for all creation. You can't erase woman from history. You just can't do that. You need the woman to have a thing called evolution. They call Mary Eve Mary. Like, it's insane. Now, it's crazy. I wanted to point this out too. Pisces and Aries. Think about this. Pisces. Remember in the beginning, God called the water seas. That's what God called these waters. He called them seas. So Pi and C's. Pi sounds like python, right? Remember that snake lady. Python, C's, Pisces. You have Aries, air, C's. You have the N of C's. So it's Aries, right? Taken from this. A lot of people don't know these things, but I'm telling you, once again, this snake, this python thing, you know, this connection to Venus. Pisces, you know, you got Aries, this connection to Aquarius, air sign. It's so many things here, but I'm gonna wrap this up now. But I think that this is really important to look at too, before I go. So we have, remember I said in the mind, you've got 3, 6, and 9 in your mind as well. So we have on the left side, your thinking and seeing side of your brain is the left hemisphere, the masculine side. Your thinking and seeing side, which is all the conscious understanding that human beings have. What you think and what you see. You know, like a lot of people, that's so obvious. This is the side where you analyze. All of your concepts are born. Your ideas come from. The masculine side, the yang side. Even, you know, yeah. So, and remember, that's that number 6, because you're going to add the Leo and the Aries. That's on that side. The lion and the ram, the earthly side, the masculine, the, you know what I mean, the solid side, like, yeah, this makes sense side. I'm gonna go with what I know side. Now then you have the feeling and sensing. I'm gonna go with what I feel side. Okay, the feeling and sensing. Now this is the 9 side, and over here we have art, beauty, and love. All this Venusian, the Venus energy. That's where we get the 9 from. Remember, the Libra plus Taurus equals 9. Because Taurus is the 2nd zodiac sign. Libra is the 7th. 7 and 2 is a 9. So you have that side. That's the feminine side, the yin side of your mind. So you go, you know, that's the side where you feel, you sense, and that's what you go with. And then remember that 3 comes in with Gemini. That's like, so where is it, right? If there's only 2 hemispheres, so where is this 3? Where is this coming from? Why haven't we even talked about this part? Well, your brain is split in 2, right? So like there's always, remember, where there's a left and a right, there's always something in between it to distinguish the 2. There's always some type of vantage, like a line, like right in the middle, that helps you see the difference between the 2. So Gemini comes in as like seeing the difference, but it's almost invisible. It's like, you know, how your brain is split into those 2 hemispheres. That little split right there would serve as Gemini in your mind. So Gemini would be like the sky of your mind, the air of your mind as well. So remember that oxygen, remember, that's what I'm talking about, that oxygen and the nerve sensors in your brain. That's what Gemini serves as. Remember, Mercury, air. Mercury is the transporter of oxygen up to your brain and through your body and all of that. So yeah, that's what Gemini serves as. So it's not really a left or a right. Remember, Mercury has no polarity. It's neither yin or yang. It's just there because it's called your intellect. So this is connected to your hearing and speaking, your tasting. Hearing, speaking, and tasting is connected to all of that, because where Gemini sits, it connects to the ears. Like all of that is connected to Gemini, that whole area. Communication all together. Sounds going in and going out. Okay, so now you see the breakdown of your all 6 senses that you have. and where they're located and where it's pulling from, what planets your senses are coming from, and what planets your senses like to I was going to say notify you, signal you, you know. So like seeing and thinking, conscious, feeling and sensing, subconscious, tasting, hearing, and speaking. This is mercurial. Has no polarity. It's neither yin or yang. It's neither conscious or subconscious. It's just your intellect. It's the middle part. All right. Wow. Oh my gosh, that was amazing, you guys. So I just hope that this has been really informative, and it's easy to get lost in the sauce when there's so many things to talk about when it comes to Venus. But I am so happy I was able to share this information, because it's a lot of things to learn about the planet Venus, because it's like, it's just so amazing to see a woman, the connection to all humanity, to woman. It's like the feminine side, and everyone, the craziest thing is everyone has access to Venusian energy, because everyone has a right hemisphere in their brain. Every healthy person does. So love is something that everyone could have. Everyone should be able to access love, to have a love in their life, to not be blocked, stopped from love. Everybody should have the chance and opportunity to have love, because you can't stop you're never going to be able to stop a person from loving who is fully tapped in to their subconscious, their intuition. They already know what's going on. So it's really a dangerous thing to mess with Venus, because when you do that, Venus goes from Venus to the other side. Remember, she's shapeshifter. Venus can be poisonous venom or safe. Remember, Venus can be quite the stinger. And that's all I have. Thank you so much. I'll see you next class. We're going to talk about Gaia. I'm excited to talk about Earth now. All right, thanks.